Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a great weekend and a good start to your week. Welcome back to the channel, a channel where I make videos for my athletes, kind of giving them tips and tricks on navigating the world as an athlete, hopefully as an athlete, or in some instance at least striving towards a goal. Being an athlete's an easy way to do that. You can categorize yourself as that and then react that way, or at least do the work that is required. I remember, I think it was with Christmas party coming up now, I think during this week or next week, with friends. I remember the last Christmas party I was at, they asked me, what do I do? And the thing is, people usually say they work, but in as a matter of fact, I'm not just this individual that might have this role at the job that I have, my 8 to 5, as they say. But if I had to introduce myself to this person, who would I want to introduce myself as? Of course, I told him, of course, all the things, no, not all the things I do, but I mean, work and kind of skimming the top, of, hi, this is what I do, hi, who are you, kind of thing, asking, learning about the people there. And I would represent myself first as an athlete, perhaps, just because I think it really defines the way I process things in my life. That could be work, that could be personal, that could be sport, everything. That's kind of the way I practice that. There's certain things required, and I try to at least meet up to these goals or these standards or these tasks or objectives or whatever you want to say, the various long, short, medium term issues or what would a better word for this be? Maybe characteristics, maybe morals, just to kind of expand on that. Now it's going down the rabbit hole, but that's not what I want to talk to you guys tonight about. I want to talk to you about where over the years, when speaking to various people, and especially my athletes, there's one thing that always comes up. And yes, I was completely off topic with that now, thinking about the Christmas party and then kind of where my mind was wandering with that. Let's stick on topic. I'm not a psychiatrist at all, so I'm not giving advice. See this as entertainment purposes only, but as a disclaimer, but it's, in my opinion, many times to simplify it. I know psychology complicates things, and that's kind of where I lose touch with. Something that is complicated too much seems to benefit the idea more than the individual. So I'm like, you're making too many little scapegoats and holes for me to climb in, or to excuse, or to pinhole issues or whatever. I'd rather not. But again, somebody that reads and loves philosophy a lot, that's kind of counterintuitive, I guess, because a lot of that has to do with the way that we think. I think my opinion, I would be more inclined to philosophy's version of psychology, maybe than what it is today, but that's just me talking complete nonsense a little bit. But the one thing that I come across a lot sometimes is athletes being current, previously, or looking to be athletes in the future, where they sometimes open up about feeling either very depressed or very anxious. And the thing is, I classified them as athletes, but they're people like normal people. All of us, so we're normal people. The only part where you can classify yourself as an athlete is if you have a harder look at life. It's when you put a purpose above yourself, perhaps. We live in a state of humanism. People think people are the best and the everything. So, if people put themselves first, and that's, I think, where the problem comes. If you put purpose and maybe goals and maybe things ahead of yourself, I'm trying to phrase this the way it always comes to mind, but I don't really know if I have the right phrasing, because I remember reading it and really identifying it, or plucking it and putting it in my pocket, thinking this is a good thing or this is a good way to look at life. You always need to be, you always need to be following or working for your task. Does that make sense? So I'm trying to think, because it was definitely translated, if I think about it now, because it was an idea, but translated, bent into 2 or 3 ideas. But the thing is just to serve. If you want to break it down, to serve. It's easy. I've told you guys, being a leader is difficult because you need to take responsibility for yourself and others. Where if you serve, if you're a follower, it's easy. I just need to worry about what I need to do. Then the group will benefit because that's what the leader said would happen. If I just do my part, I have no worries. So maybe and that comes down to the point, right? About depression, about anxiety, and being somewhere in the middle. I've always said kind of having a balance. This is a good balance. I talked to you guys a lot about, you remember I'm saying the completely left or the right mind, kind of getting in the good or the bad. It's complete, when you kind of shifting between these phases, very difficult to remain in the middle, especially throughout the whole day when you have good and bad parts you need to react to. But if you're less reactive, you'll stay a little bit more balanced. A little less living in the past and thinking about things that you cannot change anymore, depressed. I sometimes feel there's a special kind of depression you get when you know you should be doing something and you're not, but it almost feels the same in anxiety. And the point is, it almost has like the up and the down. You've got the depression that kind of reminds you of that responsibility you've now missed out on, and the anxiety reminding you that you could get up at any moment and change it. So living in the future causes a lot of anxiety, worrying about things you can't control, and then you have that same anxiety about you have this responsibility, you're not doing it. These YouTube videos was one of those for me. It caused me anxiety because I felt I really had to do it. And now that I'm doing it, it's kind of a relief. You see, balance. That's something that came up today. I thought I would share it with you guys and maybe think it through. So that's the one thing that's different. I think the mindset is people are a little bit more open about their mindsets. Where in the old days and that's what I'm saying, we had a hard mindset about things. In other words, there is no time to feel bad about things. There is work to do, you know. So maybe I fall into that old school category where there's no time even. But the thing is, I always say it's like being in the middle like that. It also keeps you away from getting too excited about things. So it's very rare that I would get very excited about things, because it kind of saves me from being very disappointed in things, you know. So having that sweet spot in the middle, I like hanging out there. I'm a little bit this, a little bit that, but I keep it within bounds, you know, not too reactive. Anyways, guys, that's just the thought that I wanted to share with you guys. I hope you have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow.